What's happening YouTube, WoJtOn here, bringing you another Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 battle. This time it's an underused tier against a guy from Smogon. I'm not sure what his name was, so I will just call him KashFlo because that's what his trainer name is. Anyway, I wanted to check out how Archeops with Roost and Golurk with Drain Punch work, so I decided to bring Hippopotas and 5 things that work in Sand, but I wouldn't call it a team because of its ice weakness and Golurk being the only answer to a fighting type moves. Looking at my opponent's team, Milotic and Shaymin are the biggest threats, but in the end they don't sweep my team and it turns out to be a pretty good battle with some unexpected stuff happening, so let's get it started. I lead with my Ursus just to set up a weather right off the bat, because other weather teams are very rare in UU, which doesn't mean they can't work just as fine, as I will show you in the next video. My opponent leads with Zapdos. I switch to Archeops knowing that he won't go for a Thunderbolt, but he sets up a sub on the switch, so now I switch out again to Registeel to scout his moveset. He hits me with Heat Wave, and that did a lot considering that I am specially defensive. I break his sub with Seismic Toss, and then, because I'm pretty sure that his last move is Roost, I switch to my Bandit Golurk to wreck him with Stone Edge, which unfortunately misses as he goes to Milotic, the thing that I am most worried about. So I go to my Empoleon, the only answer that I have to this thing, and I set up an Agility, but he says no to that and phases me out with Dragon Tail. Luckily of all the things, in comes my Registeel, which is perfect because I can Toxic him, so he won't be able to stay in for long. He sees that coming though and goes to D-Flare to threaten me, and then pulls off a very good double switch to Shaymin as I bring my Physical Wall. So seeing that he is winning the predictions game, I decided to stay in, thinking that he won't go for a Seed Flare, expecting my Registeel to come back, so I set up my rocks as he indeed goes for a Leech Seed. Because it looks like his Shaymin is a sub-seeding variant, I go to my Archeops thinking that I can take Seed Flare reasonably with special defense boost, and he uses a free turn to heal his Arcanine from poison. Now I go for a Stone Edge over Acrobatics, predicting his Zapdos, but he goes to B-Sharp instead to take either of these. Now, Sucker Punch is fairly obvious, so I switch to Empoleon, go straight for a Hydro Pump. Surprisingly, I outspeed him even with a modest nature, so he probably had HP investment over speed, and that bites him right there, because Stab Hydro Pump boosted by Life Orb turns out to be a one-hit KO. Now in comes Zapdos, and I make a risky prediction, stay in and break his substitute with Ice Beam right after he creates it, and then I switch to Hippopotas to take a T-Bolt. I should have gone to Golurk though, because now he has a free turn to roost off before I roar him out. Shaymin comes back, and this time I decided not to risk it and switch out to Archeops, but he just goes for a Leech Seed again. Now though that his Bisharp is dead, the best thing he has to take as Stone Edge is Milotic, but it still does a massive amount, and I'm easily able to finish it with a Flying Gem boosted Acrobatics even after a Leech Seed recovery, so the biggest threat to my team is now gone. By the way he broke his Arcanine in, I'm thinking that it is probably Scarfed, so I switch to Hippopotas to take a Wild Charge. Now I go for a Roar rather than Earthquake, thinking that he will most likely switch out, but he just stays in for some reason. If that was predicted play, then round of applause right there. I roar him out to Shaymin and I stay in again predicting a Leech Seed, but he pulls off a Grass Gem boosted Seed Flare and completely annihilates my Hippopotas. Now I bring my Archeops, but then I make another bad play, because I go for a Roost predicting a switch, but he just stays in, goes for another Seed Flare, and because I lost my Flying type that turn, that Seed Flare is almost one hit KO. Thanks to the special defense boost though, I survive with 27 HP, but now I'm in defeatist range, so I save Archeops just for a death fodder and switch back to Registeel. He goes to Mew for the first time, but I Toxic him on the switch, so he Volt switches right back to Shaymin to go for Aromatherapy. Meanwhile I just go for a Seismic Toss, and that turns out to be enough to kill him. Now in comes Arcanine for revenge kill, but looking at the amount of HP he has, I'm pretty sure that Recoil will take him out, so I just stay in. He manages to survive with a few HP, but then dies to the Sandstorm. Now I bring my Fenton to finish the game, but right after I choose the move I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So because that choice bandit frustration did literally nothing, I'm forced to switch out, he gets another free turn, and after a roost his Zapdos is back to full HP. So he sets up a sub on my switch and goes for a Thunderbolt, forgetting that Golurk is part ground type, and I don't blame him because looking at this thing, you couldn't tell its typing. I break his sub with the Shadow Punch, but then I die to a critical hit Heatwave, which definitely mattered, but because Shadow Punch lacks power, it couldn't kill him from this range even boosted by Stab, Iron Fist and Choice Band, and I would die to another Heatwave anyway. So now I go to my Archeops, just to do as much as I can with Stone Edge. It does a good amount considering that my attack is halved, but it is not enough to take him out, and he does just that with Thunderbolt. Anyway, from this range Stoutland is easily able to finish Zapdos with Crunch, and his Mew isn't bulky enough to take it either, so Fenton redeems himself in the end and finishes the game. Good game KashFlo with some hacks and surprises, but that's what makes it interesting in the end. As always, if you guys enjoyed the battle, likes or comments are appreciated, and I see you all next time.